Today, we are diving deep into a story that really asks about the terrifying price of genius. We're heading into the shadows of feudal Japan to take a look at Ryūnosuke Akutagawa's masterpiece of horror, Hellscreen. It's an incredible tale of art, obsession, and a sacrifice that is just truly horrifying. Right from the get-go, the story's narrator, who's this old servant in the Lord's court, hits us with this ominous warning. He's making it crystal clear that what we're about to hear is the stuff of actual nightmares, a legend that's been haunting this powerful house for generations. And this question, this is what's at the dark heart of the whole story. It really forces us to ask, what lines are okay to cross when you're chasing artistic perfection? Akutagawa isn't just telling a scary story here, he's putting us right in the middle of a profound and deeply unsettling moral puzzle. So our story really centers on one single object, a folding screen. But listen, this is no ordinary piece of art. It's a painting of Buddhist hell, so vivid, so horrifyingly real, that its legend has completely overshadowed both the artist who painted it and the powerful lord who ordered it. Okay, now let's get into the main conflict. At the very center of this legend are two huge, ego-driven figures, the artist and his patron. And their clash isn't just predictable, it is absolutely destined for tragedy. It's a perfect reflection of the brutal power dynamics of that time. What we see here is this perfect, terrifying symmetry. On one side, you've got Yoshihide. He's celebrated for his genius, but honestly hated for his personality. The only human connection he seems to have is with his daughter. Then on the other side, you've got the Great Lord, a man with absolute power, who loves absolutely no one but himself. You can already feel the tension building between these two, can't you? The Great Lord, he knows all about Yoshihide's unique talent for capturing things that are, grotesque and macabre. So he decides to put that talent to the ultimate test. He makes a commission that's going to set off a chain reaction of truly horrific events. And this isn't just some casual request, right? This is a command from the most powerful man in the entire region. He wants a vision of ultimate suffering, and he's convinced that Yoshihide is the only man alive who can possibly paint it. This is where the whole thing becomes deeply, deeply personal. See, Yoshihide's daughter serves in the Lord's court, and he is desperate to get her back, but the Lord just refuses, basically holding her as leverage. So the creation of this hell screen gets all tangled up with a father's love and a tyrant's cruel power play. Now we get to Yoshihide's artistic process, which, let me tell you, is just as disturbing as the art itself. This is really where the story starts building towards its horrifying climax. This quote, "This is everything." It's his artistic creed, his one unbreakable rule. He is a pure realist. He believes he can't just invent suffering, he has to witness it with his own two eyes. And that one principle is the engine that drives this entire story straight into darkness. This shows his terrifying commitment in action. He doesn't just imagine pain, he orchestrates it. His studio basically becomes a small-scale torture chamber. He's inflicting real suffering on his apprentices, all just to capture an authentic image. His obsession with realism has become completely monstrous. So after months of this madness, Yoshihide has finished most of the screen. It's a masterpiece of agony, but he hits a wall. The most important part, the centerpiece of the whole thing, is still just blank. He goes before the Great Lord, and he confesses, "I can't finish the painting. There is one final vision of horror that he just cannot create from memory or his imagination. He needs to see it." So he makes his request. To complete his masterpiece, he tells the Lord he has to witness one last scene, a beautiful noblewoman in magnificent robes burning to death inside an ornate carriage. It is the most extreme and impossible demand you could possibly imagine. And the Lord, he agrees with this chilling, almost manic enthusiasm. He sees a real opportunity here, not just to get his masterpiece, but to enact a final, cruel twist of his own. The way he agrees to this is one of the most terrifying moments in the story. So the stage is set. They're at this remote, desolate mountain villa. The Lord, Yoshihide, a few attendants, they all gather in the darkness. There's a single ornate carriage sitting in the middle of the courtyard, just waiting for this terrible spectacle. The Lord gives the command. The carriage screens are pulled aside, and there she is, the beautiful criminal he promised Yoshihide. A woman is inside, bound and completely helpless. And the woman inside is Yoshihide's own daughter. This is the Lord's ultimate act of cruelty. He has trapped the artist completely. To get the final image for his masterpiece, Yoshihide now has to watch the only person he has ever loved be burned alive.
In this moment of absolute horror, something inside Yoshihide just snaps. As the flames engulf the carriage, the father dies. The initial anguish on his face is replaced by this look of sublime, ecstatic awe. He's no longer seeing his daughter's death. He is seeing the perfect, beautiful image of suffering he needed for his art. The artist has completely consumed the man.
The fire dies down. The spectacle is over. All that's left is the aftermath and the terrible, terrible price of what was created that night. Yoshihide finishes the painting, and it is everything he and the Lord had envisioned. A triumph of art that captures the torments of hell so perfectly that anyone who sees it is left stunned. He achieved his goal. But the artist, he can't survive the man's grief. Once that creative trance was broken, the human being was left with the unbearable memory of his daughter's murder. A murder he not only witnessed, but used. The price of the masterpiece was his daughter's life and his own soul.
And this is the dilemma Akutagawa just leaves us with. The hell screen becomes this timeless work of art, but it was born from a moment of unforgivable cruelty. It forces us to wonder, can art ever be separated from the morality of its creation? What is the true cost of genius? And ultimately, was it worth it?